And they said, you just sit still, otherwise we will shoot you right here and now.
And then he says, if you don't give money in 5 days, you go up, he said. And they laughed, and there is a absolute silence.
You should have told him, I don't go up, I go down.
I told you, I don't tell a lie. I'll go up.
Welcome to Kanhacast, a series of conversations with residents and visitors to Kanha Shantivana, the International Heartfulness Center near Hyderabad, Telangana, India.
Okay. More respectful.
So thank you, Ramakant Bhai. This is, I don't know, this is a conversation, but you are insisting that it is an interview of me. Although I think, I'm usually the person interviewing, but I think so we'll keep it back and forth, the conversation and interaction. Who's the host? Who's the guest? Let's not get into that. I suppose we are both part hosts, part guests.
Okay, agreed. So that means I'm not going to ask you nasty questions, provocative questions, because you will be doing the same.
Yeah.
So Ramakantha, be careful.
No, but it's one of the joys of, truly one of the joys of my life is to sit down and have a conversation with you. It is always fun. There's always laughter, and there's always joy in the air when we sit down together. So thank you for this opportunity again.
If you compliment me, if I blush, you will not see because I am brown. Okay. But I'm going to tell you, and you're fair enough, I can see the blush. So you're one of the finest human beings I have met in my life.
Oh, no. Please.
No, truthfully. Please,
I mean,
honestly. So I start the question.
Yes.
See, life was very unkind. Takdir ke mare hue Ramakant became a spiritual person.
The slings and arrows of fortune.
It's like that.
Yeah.
So the ephemerality, the transient nature of things, because I was, you are supposed to, what I gather from so far, by the way, you are a Highness royal blood?
No.
We are be honest.
Just zamindars from UP. We are from a zamindar landowning family. I'm from a landowning family, so I've grown up with, with the traditional sort of landlord type of upbringing. So,
okay.
No royal highness or anything like that. I'm just a hill dog.
Hill dog. That's another thing I want to ask. First thing first. Okay. I just met Anand. He is full of joy. Anvarta naam. संस्कृत में है ना?
Yes.
आपका तो एक ऐसे नाम, what's your name?
Rudreshwar.
रुद्र कोई कभी नहीं देखा.
Yeah. So the name, actually, I have two elder brothers. They are Shiveshwar and Visheshwar. My name, parents wanted a change, so they actually named me Yudhishthir. And till the age of 4, I was called Yudhishthir. But I used to be very sick. So this is a very common thing in India. You blame it on the name. So this name is not suiting him. So the name was then changed to Rudreshwar. There is an uncle of mine, Akshobh Singh ji, also an Abhyasi and a trainer. He suggested, he gave a list of names, and one of those was Rudreshwar. So
no one may have seen you. You are seldom Rudra. I don't think that is part of your.
I don't know. Yeah, I could get angry. I do get angry. And growing up, yes, I did have. Sometimes I used to go into, but I don't usually. This is probably thanks to all these years of Abhyas since 1996 that I can say, I have a fairly good control over my anger, but still I do get angry and I do get frustrated at times, as all of us do.
Kama, Krodha,
yes.
Babuji Maharaj says is part of human existence. You can Arishad Varga, Kama, Krodha, Moha, Mada, Matsara. Kama or Krodha Heartfulness Institute, as you know, say that it can never be annihilated,
Never leave you completely.
never leave you completely. You can modify, etc. They say. So coming back to this hill dog, when I was young, Hindi film Dharmendra, he will make his nose something.
Yes. And the famous
come in here and all that. ये गाली वाला.
इन कुत्तों के सामने मत नाचना बसंती.
So why hill dog?
Actually, hill dog happened because I live in the hills. I'm born in Nainital and I've been brought up there. And we often go for walks in the hills. That's one of the joys of living in the hills, is going for long walks and perhaps even camping out overnight. So whenever you're walking in the hills, it's a very common experience. A dog joins you for the walk. And while you are on the walk, this dog is there. He is by your side. He is protecting you if it sees other people approaching, it barks. And then if you're staying also overnight in the forest, it stays just outside your tent. It sleeps just outside your tent. Any noise, it barks, it alerts you. So it's like your best friend. And then you go back and just mysteriously as it came, the dog leaves. So I thought that is so nice, the way this dog's interaction goes with you, that it's like when it's with you, it's 100% with you. But when it's not with you, it's not like, you have to send a text or a message or a, call or do anything. It's just, there's no hard feelings. That shared affection is there. It doesn't need to be reinforced again and again. So I find that's a beautiful way of interacting with people in the world, that you are there with them, 100% with them, but not like stressed out about, I have to keep in touch. I mean, there are friends who I haven't called for 6 months and 7 months, but when we meet like we've never parted.
This is one of the maybe byproducts of meditation, that we are loving, but when the other person is not there, don't start. They think that tere bina, okay.
It's good for poetry. It's good for songwriting and stuff like that, to be thinking like that. So, but not otherwise. It just puts you in like
detached attachment, whatever you call it.
Yes,
it becomes part of us. We are loving, but you don't. It's wonderful to be that. It's definitely wonderful. And then, if you miss one person, it is whom you love, and that is God.
Yes.
No dearth of missing. I mean, you should miss, actually. All right, so that's nice. Okay.
So that's where the woof woof comes from.
Woof woof comes from that. Very nice. Okay, what brings you to the realm of spirituality? You had everything that you wanted, I'm sure about that.
I wouldn't say that. Actually, the day I was born, actually, this is in March, and it was the day of Holi. We celebrate Holi, and especially in the north, it's a big festival, colors, throwing colors on each other, water and all of that. So I was born on Holi day. It was morning in Nainital, and it was snowing. And it was about 6:30 in the morning. So one of my uncles showed up. The first person to see, guest to see. The family was there in the hospital, of course, but the first guest to come was an uncle of mine who, in the snow, had come in his bush shirt and shorts. And he had a few drinks and he was very happy.
Early in the morning.
And he had plucked some flowers, some wildflowers along the way, just some leaves, and made an impromptu bouquet. And he put that by my mother's bedside. This is what I've been told by my parents, that he put that by my mother's bedside. And he said, since this is Holi, this is a day of Holi, I hereby christen this boy His Holiness. So I was christened His Holiness at birth. So I don't know if we set the tone, because I don't know what set the tone, his christening me His Holiness or his being in a happy drunk state. Because spirituality itself is a kind of drunkenness too, So.
Of course. Once I enjoyed my drink when I drank. My sixth generation people have not touched an egg or may not have had a peg. But
you had to do it. I
did that, and I thought, especially I remembered he should forgive me, my father-in-law. If he were to have had a peg or two, he would have been more generous with himself, is what I was thinking. I thought it was a nice thing to do. But then once I started meditating, that simply left by. I didn't have to use my willpower at all. And later on, I understand from Babuji Maharaj that is a poison for spirituality. And actually, we don't meditate for having that condition.
Yes.
Especially in the early stages of your evolution, the Hridaya Chakra, Atma Chakra, intoxication is gross.
Yes.
And it becomes subtle and
it's like a high
subtle.
you get from.
You get a high.
Yeah, absolutely.
You get a high, especially in the beginning. Later on, how can you be without what has been granted to you?
Yes.
It
So
is.
true.
We are in a...
In fact, I also noticed that when you are reading, and I enjoy reading, and especially, philosophy and things like that when you are reading, that's also an intoxication. It is very much like a high. This mental high is also something that I felt. This, sort of finding out things, the way the world is, even scientific books, reading scientific books, it's also a kind of a high. This reading, and also music is also kind of it intoxicates at one level.
I am going to tell you something. Wisdom, huh?
Yes. I am ready to receive wisdom.
I used to be a ferocious reader. Nobody loved me, nobody had time for me, and I had all the time in the world. So one thing that I did is reading. So Maxim Gorky's Kannada translation, Mother, Thai, is one of the thick books. I was just barely a kid, 7th standard or 6th standard. That was one of my books. I used to read a lot. Then it dawned on me that it is also a trap.
Yes.
Actually.
Yes.
And then after I started Sajmark, I gave up. I used to read so much. I consciously cut down on my reading for about 20 years. I hardly read anything other than Heartfulness literature. Slowly, I don't know how, I can't say that Daji influenced me. Slowly, I'm back into reading. But that awareness, see, first understanding that you understand the limitation of pleasure. We have our tea. It's getting cold, by the way.
Oh, yes. We should have a sip.
Between 2 cups of coffee, I prefer coffee better than tea. But
after this, we'll have a cup of coffee.
But my body doesn't like it. Coffee. What to do? Okay. So 2 cups of coffee, you understand the time lag has to be there. That is the limitation of pleasure. Anandam is a trap. Like you said, reading, music.
Yes.
You simply, time passes you by. You are very happy, but again, one of the, now I should be serious, and with true gratitude, I should say, it dawned on my heart that seeking happiness, pleasure, etc. is very natural for a human being, but it is not wise, is what I came to know. Suppose I live 80 years, 90 years happily, and then one of our celebrity, poet, politician, and a big person of India, if I say anything more about him, you will know who it is. So I will not say. Didn't know to die. 2-3 years on the deathbed. A chit of a girl comes for an injection, and that man has fear. Because fear is inherent in all of us.
Absolutely.
The fear of death.
Absolutely. So
I lived 80 years wonderfully. It doesn't make any sense when I am in the last leg of my life and I am hospital. If I kick the bucket, it's okay. If I were to be there on a bed, all the past beauty, wonderful, nothing matters.
True.
You are afraid of dying. So I didn't want that. I said, is it all that human life is all about? What is this enlightened person? I've read books on enlightened people and how they leave this coil, this
Very
body,
lightly, without,
very lightly.
yeah,
Tell somebody that I'm going
off.
I'm off.
See you later.
Yeah, can I do that? Was
Yeah.
one of the
Yeah, yeah.
desires. One of the things. So having a wonderful time means nothing.
Mhm.
Or having a wonderful time. Even now I do that. Not that I don't do it, but that I am aware should not be the goal of my life.
Yes, yes, yes. But one interesting thing I wanted to ask you, is it this search for pleasure? We are all engaged in it, and at some point or the other, we have lived our lives as if that was the goal. And the realization that you have got to, that is not the goal of your life. Is it possible for a person to accept this without actually going through it? Like, I wouldn't be so presumptuous to say that I've gone through it and have realized that. But since you have actually realized that, can you actually tell a person that, bro, take my word for it, this is not the goal of human life? Will that person still think, but I should have tried it? What is the way around this?
One day, I was privileged to, Daji asked me to sit in his car. We were driving, and he said something. I was very disturbed, and I expressed my displeasure. Totally, like I talked to you. I said, "Sir, what have you said?" Shattered the goal of very purpose of my life, kind of a thing. I said, well, you know what he said? Wisdom cannot be imparted. I thought life has taught me enough, and and then I really okay. Shut up, Ramakantha. Don't talk about yourself. Okay, I thought I'm going to tell wise words and then help humanity through Buddha. He got enlightened and he started preaching. I wanted to say, like, pleasure.
Yes.
I also have, even today, I experience it, but I don't. He said wisdom cannot be imparted. I was actually, I expressed unhappiness that I have no role now with all my wisdom. I can't impart
ready
it
to sit
you
under
or to
the
anybody.
Bodhi tree and give a sermon. The sermon under the Bodhi tree.
No, why Bodhi tree? Now air-conditioned halls are there, and there are some people they can always manage to get to talk about. But now I understood I can't impart. Then I read his book, Wisdom Bridge. There he gives some. I felt of reading. I underlined it. He said, wisdom can be caught. Okay, may not be imparted. Can be caught. Then I say, I'm creating the condition for you or anyone to catch it.
Caught, tranquilized, eaten.
So saying that won't
yes.
saying that don't make it this thing makes means nothing.
It means nothing. So this idea of like telling people that you should do this or you should not do it doesn't work at all.
It doesn't work that way at all.
Yeah.
But if someone hears it, now this is some understanding. I don't say it is it.
Yeah.
But some understanding that if this conversation, that it is not all, if it is the mind stores it.
Yes.
And sometimes it may come.
It flowers
sometimes.
Yes. So right. In fact, similarly, once I was listening to Daji, it was a Bhandara talk. He was talking on the stage. I was up in the control room, where we do the switching from. So I was more interested in, which angle, which camera I was observing that. And I wasn't really listening to what Daji was saying. But one sentence I heard, and it really stayed with me even to this day. He said, and this is, he said, spirituality means being ready to let go of your opinions, no matter how great they may be.
Don't threaten me. Why you want to?
It stayed with me. Letting go of your opinions, no matter how great they may be. We may have the greatest opinions, have read the greatest tomes, have, but in the end, we have to be ready to let everything go.
So I generally, I am a truthful person, not generally. I am
Huh.
a truthful person, and I know to shut my mouth. If
Huh.
I don't, I don't claim that I tell the truth, but I don't tell untruth.
Yes.
And once or twice, of all the people, I tried to be untruthful with Daji,
Oh dear.
and I told
Didn't
him,
turn out well.
and I myself said that I am not truthful. I am fanatical about growing of indigenous plant species. Anything else from the rest of the world, I'm not much impressed. And he has been saying that, why, then I have reasons for that.
Mhm.
I have been saying it, I'll tell it probably. I will not let go of this opinion is what I'm saying. That we are a mega biodiversity country. Many, the animal going extinct, human beings becomes, alert, aware,
Mm.
and then concerned. Plants, hardly anybody knows it. There are species.
Yeah,
There
so
is
true.
one Rudraksha, Eliocarpus species. Only 3 trees are left in India and in
Oh
the
my.
world. So, and then there are many species like Syzygium travancoricum, the jamun of Kerala, Syzygium palgatensis, critically endangered, only near the Palgat area.
Yes.
Then Syzygium singampattianum, Syzygium canarens, Syzygium alternifolium. सिर्फ मैं एक स्पीसीज एक जीनस के बात बोल रहा हूँ
Khatam. दुनिया से
खत्म नहीं है बट brink of extinction.
Yeah. Some
So-
Maduka something also you
Mamuduka, Bordelani.
Yeah.
I mean, the list goes on and
Yeah,
on, and many people do not know. So I simply say that till all we consolidate, we conserve all the plants of India, they are originated here. We should be less fascinated with the exotic this
Mm.
thing. If it comes to food, I'm open. In
Yeah,
the
yeah,
sense, the potato comes from Peru, then the cabbage, cauliflower, carrot, name a thing, and it has come from the rest of the world, globe.
Yeah.
Even chilies and papayas and chikus, and I have no problem. Just for the beauty of some damn flowers, this thing.
Yeah.
So this is a very strong
I
opinion.
wouldn't call it an opinion. It's something based on fact. It doesn't meet the criteria of just an opinion. This is a fact, and this is a deduction from your knowledge of the species. It's not just an opinion that is based, not based on any fact. It's based on an inner feeling. No. You have facts to back it up. You know the status of these plants. You know how critical they are, and you are aware of the fragility of an ecosystem where one species going extinct can affect the whole ecosystem, and that is what this is. This is
So
based
this
on.
is not something I
wouldn't-
should drop.
I don't-
Thank you.
Yeah, this is another
Again,
thing. This is
Allahu Akbar. Thank you. Thank you.
maybe in the end, perhaps this too drops. Who knows?
Acha, okay, not such things.
But it's a very interesting thing you brought up where, Daji, you are very keen on preserving the indigenous species, but Daji doesn't understand why you feel so strongly about it.
No, he understands. That's why he has. I was not very happy that
Yes.
an ashram like us, we don't charge money for meditation even. He created a state-of-the-art
Tissue
tissue culture
culture.
laboratory for tree conservation. He understands, absolutely he understands.
Mhm.
Doesn't ever ask the question how much it costs to bring in a species. No, he understands it very well. But that my fanatical reaction, at least he was trying to sober me down. The
Yes.
expression is, Taliban. Taliban is not a bad word. Anyway,
What is the exact meaning of Taliban?
something to do with the discipline is what I heard from someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, the kind of a, you can say the same thing with a little,
Yeah.
is what he was trying to say. So, and my dislike towards the only ornamental plants are there. I tried to tell him one day, "मैं सुधर गया साहब, I'm more open" करके. And then I said, "सुधरा नहीं साहब." सुधरा नहीं.
Wow.
Mhm.
Wow. Yeah, so true. So we were talking about the fear that is
Inherent in all human beings.
in all human beings.
And meditation, I mean, I have tried many things. I mean, I might have told you earlier that I tried this system, that system.
And the ultimate fear is the fear of death, right?
Death.
Hmm.
So, heartfulness meditation, in a few years, you yourself realize that that has left you.
Hmm.
Someone asked, I believe, Lord Ramachandra, what can you give? And he is supposed to have said, abhaya, no bhaya.
Hmm.
That happens. I mean, any meditation may not lead you to that. I have done some 7.5 years, some other system of meditation. Fear didn't go.
Hmm.
After I joined, Heartfulness, matter of, I don't know when exactly it left me. I am free from the fear of death.
Hmm.
Yes, absolutely. And today I was sharing with Anand, how are you? I said, I'm on top of the world. Today, if I am dead, it's not a loss I feel.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
It's a feeling. It's a feeling that I have been cherishing. Not
Wonderful.
just for that. I mean, when I suffer physically, sometimes I feel it's near-death experience. Sometimes has happened to me.
Really?
But there is no fear.
Would you like to elaborate about the NDE?
Few times I didn't know if I can ever recover or is it the end. A couple of times I have felt it. Body immense pain, but no fear. And I should say I didn't even pray that I should be relieved of it. Last time when I had that kind of a thing, I said that is too much of an ego not to pray. Let it stop. I did pray.
Yeah.
Because too much of a suffering, and other people also. My daughter was there, and late in the night, you are suffering. The other person also. Not only that, even I said, let this pain move away. I prayed. Yeah, but yes, when that happens to you, I'm sure it has happened to you. I am aware of that. It has happened to you. You know that the fear of death isn't there anymore with me.
Yes. It's very interesting. The only so-called, if I could call it a near-death experience, where I really thought that this could be it, this could be the last few moments of my life, was about, I think, 14 years ago. About 14 years ago, I was driving from my village in UP to the neighboring town to conduct satsang in the morning, heartfulness meditation, group meditation in the morning. So I got into my car and I was driving. I was driving alone. And halfway through, it's a rural area. And this is UP. This is the Badlands of UP, West UP.
Things are changing, I believe.
Things are changing. Now things have changed big time. But that time still it was, guns and it was lawless, pretty lawless. In fact, Dawood Ibrahim, one of the biggest gangsters, on the Interpol list and all that, one of the most wanted people in India. His people used to be, if the police was getting too tight on them in Mumbai and all, they would come and hide there because there they were safe in West UP. In fact, one of his real trusted generals was hiding there, and he had gone to town on a motorcycle, and while he was coming back, he was robbed. 4 or 5 people waiting on the road and stopped his bike, took his watch, everything. So that's the kind of place it is. And so I was going for early morning satsang, and my wife and daughter, I left sleeping. I said, I won't wake them up. I'll just go early morning because it's a 1 hour drive and half an hour before satsang, I should be there. So early morning, 6 o'clock. And then this Innova comes, this car, and it comes and blocks the road. But it had a police monogram, the red and blue colors of the police on the number plate. So I thought it's the cops and they're doing some checking or something. And the 6 guys got out of the car. The driver remained in the car. 6 other guys got out. And they came to my window, and I actually rolled down the window to ask, what you want to check, the license and all that, my ID and all that. As soon as this guy came to the window, he gave me a tight slap and pulled out the car keys. And he said, now you come out, sit at the back. I sat at the back. 2 guys got in with me. 2 guys got into the dicky of the Qualis. It was a Qualis car. And then 2 guys got in the front seat and started driving. And the Innova was driving in front. And I said, because there it's fairly regular in the news to hear that somebody's been killed over a carjacking. They were interested in the car, obviously. But the way these carjackings usually turn out is they don't want any witnesses, right? So they get rid of the witness. But they were driving around with me, and they drove for an hour. They went into the rural roads, and I was thinking every time I heard maybe some water flowing, a canal going. I thought that maybe they're going to throw me into the canal. And they said, you just sit still, otherwise we will shoot you right here and now. So I said that I said, you please take the car. Just let me go. Just drop me off. You take the car and go. But they were like, no, we'll drop you off and we feel like, and you just remain quiet, otherwise we'll shoot you. So anyway, we traversing around, sitting with them. Now you would think that this 1 hour should be the most traumatic time of my life, because I actually didn't know whether I was going to, these could be the last moments of my life. But actually, whenever I would think of this, the inner master, where I was going for meditation, Chariji was at that time the guide. Whenever my thoughts would go in this direction, it was almost as if there was like I was almost falling asleep. It was almost as if there was a covering around me. And I was almost falling asleep there amidst all these guys, 6 guys in a car. And I was almost like, it was just like, sort of almost like an anesthetic, But then the moment I would think of my daughter at home, she was 2 years old at that time, and my wife who was sleeping innocently, then there would be fear. There would be terrible fear. It would be, so I just said, no, I consciously have to think of the light I felt in my heart through this meditation. I just need to think about that. And these guys, they are like, okay, let's listen to some music while we are driving. And they put on the music system. And the cassette there, those time we had cassettes, and the cassette happened to be a speech of Chariji. So
In whose?
In my car.
Of course,
so
you were in
car.
your car.
Yeah, so they put it on. They looked at each other a little confused that what is this? So I said, no, this is my meditation teacher and a Guruji, and I was going for meditation. So they said, okay, switched it off. They switched it off immediately.
Comes in their way.
Yes, and then they took me into a sugarcane field somewhere, remote. They found a sugarcane field and they led me into the sugarcane field, And I thought that even then I didn't know what was going to happen, because this was a empty sugarcane field. They're leading me in, these 6 guys, and they tied my hands, they tied my feet, and they tied my mouth with my own vest. They took off my vest and tied my mouth, and with my belt they tied my feet, and with my shirt they tied my hands behind my back. And I didn't know still what, but then they left me. They said, we are going, and you don't report this to the police. And we just wanted your car. And off they went. I heard them speed off in the car. And then I tried to, luckily I was wearing a very old belt of mine that day. So they had tied my feet with the belt. So I strained a bit and it opened up. And I walked out to the main road. And there a motorcycle guy came and he said, oh, what happened? They undid me, and they kind of half an hour later, and they gave me a lift to the nearest town, where I called up the police, obviously. And the policeman, also the ASP at that time of that area, happened to be also a Heartfulness meditator. So he said he assigned the case to some special operations group, And the car was found. They recovered the car. They arrested a few people. And, but it was like, that was a time I thought that this is near death. But it was, in fact, I was like, not sure how it's going to turn out. But the amazing thing was that the fear came only when I thought of my family, my life, that thing, that there was fear. But when I was centered inside, it was almost like being insulated.
What an experience, huh? My God.
I was not comfortable talking about it also for years and years. It's only now that I feel, not because of anything else, because I felt it was such a sacred experience, actually. I felt it so deeply sacred, that this is where, I don't know, it's difficult to explain why you would consider that a sacred experience, but that presence you feel around you.
Yeah, one Abhishek ji, he introduced me.
Yes,
just the
Abhishek
other day. First time I shared my experience, not similar, an experience of someone.
Well, but you must have been in the other end. You must have been doing the kidnapping.
You should have friends like you. I was a conservator of forest in Manipur. It was burning, and it is burning, sadly. I shared this experience with that Mr. Abhishek, that there is one splinter group of an extremist called KYKL. They are Valley extremist group, but they get killed by the others if they are found. So they are always in a hurry to communicate something, this thing. And they came. I was conservator headquarters, and then some 3 boys came, and they said, "You should give us money. You have to give and support the party and all that." I said, I simply said, I don't give money. Okay, I don't make it, I don't give it. I told him. Then, no, you have to give. And another fellow, I don't know what, that's confusing. Don't worry. He was doing like this. One boy, and the other fellow says, you have to give money. I said, you go out and then you take some paces left and right, and so there's someone you can talk to. You're talking to the wrong person. Okay, and I wouldn't do anything. They went away. And after a couple of months, they surrounded the whole forest building. And people came with the gun. And one young man, I was in my chamber. There was an accountant, range officer, and an ACF. And one, now I learned, I'm very happy to have learned this word, healthy lady from Odisha.
Yes, very politically correct, brother. Very well done.
She was sitting there, and these people surrounded, and then one young man started shouting at me, "You're anti-party," or this, that, and all that. He was a novice probably. He couldn't just have shot me like that. He wanted to pump in some adrenaline. And he started talking, and he
pointed the gun.
I saw the gun. Then I used to speak 2 times. It saved me. I am good at picking some, languages.
Okay.
So I spoke to that, ACF, a range officer. I liked him a lot. I told them, tell these people that I am the wrong guy. But then I saw him shivering,
trembling,
shake this thing, and talking. He pulled his gun to my head.
Oh my God!
Then, by then I was meditating. That's the first time I knew that whatever I was speaking is based on my experience. I saw my lips had gone dry by then, and I peeped into my heart. There was no fear. And I told him, not here, here.
Wow.
They say that you remember the Lord and you kick the bucket.
Yes.
No, I could manage to say this. No, not here, here.
That's incredible.
Yeah. And when I said this to one forest officer, he said, "You confused him."
Give him 2 targets.
Anyway, I said, "Here."
Wow.
And that man kept on holding it here and then slowly lowered his gun.
This is like a film scene almost.
Absolutely,
My God.
absolutely, absolutely.
Wow.
I remember the names of the people who were with me, and Dr. Niti Mahanti, IAS, former IAS officer. So he lowered the gun, and 2 times I received the best of compliments in my life. That man said, "You are sincere, noble."
Wow.
Then he said, "I take risk, spare your life." And removes a cartridge, throws it on my table, starts walking. And then at the door he says, all of them retrieve. And then he says, "If you don't give money in 5 days, you go up," he said. And they left, and there is a absolute silence.
You should have told him, I don't go up, I go down.
I told you, I don't tell a lie. I'll go up.
Hell has better company, brother.
No, you don't go down. See, there is a scope for self-effacement is not a bad thing. But self-indictment is not permitted. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So
So he left. He said, 5 days you don't give money.
you left.
Yeah.
And this healthy lady started, "What is this in the broad daylight?" and all that. Then I had a bell, tanang. I pressed it. They may come back. I ordered for tea. And then we talked and talked and talked. And then we went, and my daughter, son, and my wife was there in the guest house, state guest house. She comes and she tells it, and my wife wept, wailed like as if I'm already dead. That time there was only Air India flight. So I wanted to, I wrote a letter that something has happened like this. I'm going, running away. I wrote a letter to the chief secretary through proper channel and all that. And then I somehow waitlisted, and I got all 3 of us got a seat in the Air India. We ran away from it. Dr. Niti Mahanti, in a letterhead, former IAS officer, she wrote a letter to Government of India and then a copy to me. And I went and talked to this. I had the bullet. Now I don't know where it is. I kept it. So when so I showed.
Oh, he left the...
He threw that on my table.
On your
I had a big desk. On that he threw it.
Wow.
And I showed it to Secretary MO, Minister of Environment and Forest. The climate science was not there. So, and I got a deputation to Coimbatore as the Forest
You should
Academy.
have got a gallantry award for this. I mean, really, to have the presence of mind to be just look a gun pointing. I don't know if I could have,
Asaye dukkake moola. Desire is the cause of misery, my dear sir. I am alive and kicking.
Yes.
And I got one of the best posting. I told one day to Daji, so the only good thing that I do in my life is talk. And I talk
Thank
well.
God for that, yes.
And I talk well, I said. When you overcome that feeling, it would be good, he said. In the sense, what he was trying to say, that I am this, I am this, I am that. If you put yourself in a socket, you are limiting your growth.
So true, so true.
So one of the best things that has happened is that I was the Mukhia of a forest. Now it's a forest academy. 7.5 years. I broke all the records as a head. I had officer trainees from all over India, from Jammu, Kashmir to Punjab.
And who still are in touch with you, and they respect you so much. I mean, it's like...
I receive a lot of love.
Yes, I hear sometimes when we are together, you get a call from somebody, and that's just...
that's nice.
It's a wonderful, wonderful goodwill that you have all over.
Yeah, I'm a teacher. My father was one, and his father must have been. So I love doing that.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And this again, meditation, you sobers you down.
So true. So true.
You don't yell at people, vengeful. You may get angry, but then when I started, time for my retirement came, I was the director of Institute of Wood Science and Technology. As years rolled by, I found myself changing. See, one thing I am aware that this change is when you meditate heartfulness way, you know that you are changing. And that change that happens within you is to your liking.
Yes.
Others may or may not
like
appreciate.
it. Absolutely.
May not.
Absolutely.
Like Lord Jesus appeared like a common thief in the eyes of the Roman soldiers.
Yes,
They
yes,
couldn't.
yes.
And Hazrat Muhammad was, they chased him from place to place. So they may not, you should not, it's also not correct on your part. A very egoistic thing that somebody should know you as a spiritual person.
Yes.
No, but now, of course.
Yes, brother.
I'm trying to help people know that I'm
Yes.
spiritual.
But that was incredible. Thank you for sharing that. Just to have the presence of mind to tell the person, the
Presence
courage
of mind, nahi, this is the goal
to tell
of
the
life.
person, not here.
The goal of life is to kick the bucket in his remembrance. If I forget that, it is.
Also, then an experience like this also is a source of strength, I have seen. That it's like when other things happen, which we consider so large, and so, some terrible thing happens, we think, oh, but today I have somebody is not happy with me because this, or somebody misses a deadline, or things like that. You realize that this is all surface things, when you are so happy to be alive, that it's not like, it puts everything in perspective. Life is a precious gift.
I understand that. And I feel actually, however successful a person be, if I feel that, spirituality doesn't simply grow on its own, effort is needed for you to evolve spiritually. If I find the most amazing person on earth, very successful or whatever it is, I no condescending attitude, but I feel that something is missing for a person. I should pray. There is much more to human existence than achieving name, fame. I wanted you to remind me about food.
Oh yes, food. Are you hungry, brother?
No, that was not the topic.
Yes,
the topic is, so ever since I knew.
Just to put it in context, I was just treated before this recording. I was just treated to a wonderful uttapam and coconut chutney made by our dear brother. So that's how the topic of food came up.
Uttapam is a wrong word.
Okay, sorry.
Akki roti. Rice roti. Akki roti.
It was wonderful. Whatever it was wonderful. I savored it, and that's how I said, brother, you are very good at cooking, not just stories, but also akki roti.
I don't cook up stories. That's another
I'm pulling your leg, brother.
That's another accusation.
I'm pulling your leg.
What I say is story like they're true stories. That is oxymoron. True stories. It's something. True stories also. Okay.
Yes,
Coming back to what was the food.
Food.
So ever since I came to know that I exist, I knew what I should be. Enormously famous person. And I understood why I had that desire from the childhood. There are 2 Jnanapith Award winners very near to my 30-40 kilometers near only. Okay. So in the Western Ghats, Sringeri, there was Dr. K.V. Puttappa Kuvempu. He is considered the greatest poet of Karnataka. And there was, a few years later, there was one Dr. U.R. Anantamurthy. Everybody is Timmappa, Kammappa, Kalappa, Bolappa, whatever. When we talk about these names, they say Dr. Puttappa, Dr. Anantamurthy. So I should be Dr. Ramakantha. So one desire. And I should be a famous man. And I thought I am a multi-talented person. One thing, as an adult, I realized I should never do is cooking. Okay. So, why? Ask me why.
Why?
Oh, thank you. I'm a multi-talented person. I draw, I sketch, I do this, that.
Photographer, gifted photographer.
Many things.
Singer.
Oh, That I don't know.
Dancer.
The-
No, true, all true, all true.
So,
I'm revealing too much.
so if I keep on painting, sketching, one or the other day I may become like a Michelangelo, whatever it is. Cooking takes 1.5 hours. So after you do the cooking, we eat, you eat, and there is no trace of me having done anything.
Ah.
Total waste of time. Sorry.
The proof of the pudding is gone once the pudding has been eaten.
so I had a wife who was an assistant professor in mathematics, resigned, and she fussed over my food. Before that, I was a hostelier. I couldn't have this thing, so I didn't cook. No, didn't even ever make a cup of tea. My wife, she was an athlete, and she fell ill first time in her life when I was in Coimbatore Academy head. I had help at home. So she kept on saying, Ramakant, that lady doesn't take bath every day, doesn't wash her. I said, I have only one wife after all.
This is the common dialect that wives all over speak.
No. No condescendence there. No.
This is not be a
दिमाग
very...
खाने का हक उन्हीं को है.
बिल्कुल पूरा हक है, पूरा हक है.
तो खा लेते हैं कभी कभी, ऐसे नहीं है कि कोई नहीं खाता है, तो ठीक ही है. So
Even so-called vegetarians.
दिमाग खाते हैं. Good one. So I started cooking. Now I am convinced. I told Daji also one day that in my past life, I was a cook. And in the past, I love cooking. She was a Udupi Brahmin, my wife, and I learned without making any experimentation, learned Udupi cuisine. Then now I specialize in cooking wild plants. I learned from community how to make a delicious chutney out of a bilvapatra leaf or amaltas, the golden shower. Flowers are cooked and eaten in Andhra Pradesh and Maharashtra, nowhere else. Okay, the tender leaves of amaltas is cooked and made into chutney. If you don't know how to do it, you have it becomes purgative. Okay, and then there is one perendai, Cissus quadrangularis. I tried doing it, my lips were swollen. You should know how to make it. It is not.
Yeah,
but communities have this
art,
and there is no
technique.
pan-Indian cooking.
True. So every region has a different...
every community has some speciality.
So true.
So I learned from them, and I'm making it. And then Mr. Shekhar Kapoor, you must be aware.
Yes.
When he came here, he told me that it's the best food that I've eaten in my life. So I could make...
So a cooking show is in the offing, I think.
Life is too short for no time. Time later.
True.
So
you have bigger fish to fry.
I am a vegetarian, by the way. I don't fry fish. Sorry.
Wonderful.
So, I feel very regretted if I don't tell the end part of it.
Yes.
So, I am very happy to tell you, 3-4 years ago, one evening, Daji was there in Gokul Point, sitting quiet. I was with him, and something in my heart came up, and I wanted to tell him that I made a statement, sir, the desire and for name and fame has left me, sir. It's a kind of a samarpana, kind of a, it's he who made me do that. When you overcome the desire for name and fame, it's very liberating.
Sure.
You feel unburdened.
Sure.
You feel so good. There is this mystery, NS Nagaraj. He was there. He should have kept quiet. He didn't.
Nagaraj bhai.
I'm not accusing him of any great sin. He said, sir, Ramakant has overcome even the desire for name and fame. Why that even? I may have other desire. I only said about name and fame. And he was saying, Acha, मेरा भी टाइम आएगा सर जी देखूंगा करके सोचा, but then he didn't say anything.
Nagraj bhai, you have been warned.
No.
आपका टाइम आने वाला है.
No, किया इतना समय नहीं लगता.
अच्छा.
Yeah, बस. Anyway.
So, revenge is a dish best served hot, not cold.
Very serious allegations. Anyway, so I mean, that feeling is so good when
Yes.
you meditate.
Yes.
Many things, it's like shedding the snake sheds a skin and comes out shining. So what you think is, first time when I read Buddha saying Ase dukkada moola, in Kannada I read, desire the cause of suffering. What can a man be without desires? Almost it's a living corpse, kind of a thing. I said, kya fun hai without desire? You don't understand. But when it happens,
Yes.
you feel immensely grateful. Like another thing, I read a lot, I told you. They all say, they describe the condition, the consciousness that they have achieved, and then the folly, like desire. It's easy to say overcome your desire. How? Once I started meditating, 14 years I tried for enlightenment. I tried many things. I take up a system. When I invoke Rama, no place for Lord Krishna. When I said Lord Krishna, none other. And the Lord Jesus, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. I did every one at a time. That is something very wise. Why am I saying this? Actually, wisdom is that you keep on talking, but you
Yes.
don't forget the base. It will come to me.
You've forgotten the base?
Oh,
No, so you were talking about how it's to let go of the desire is so
once I start,
joyful.
I say, have I changed?
Hmm.
Have my desires changed?
Hmm.
Actually, when you do yoga, siddhis come to you. And I didn't have a pure heart, and I was worried about me accumulating siddhis. Such a very polluted mind.
Oh, you wanted to.
No, I was afraid of the
You were afraid
kind
of the
I mean,
power you may get.
see, how do you tell? We in our Heartfulness Institute, we don't make any visible miracles, whatever it is. You produce something and all that. But each one of us know that human beings can do that through the power within. Manifestation thing or objects or many things can be done. We are not interested because that is not the goal of life. But if my heart was full of desires, and then if I get power, I will become a Rakshasa in you. That much of awareness. So I was afraid of it. So here, once you start meditating in heartfulness way, you know that your desires drop off.
So true.
Absolutely. It means nothing. $1 billion means nothing. What do you do? What do I do with that?
It means a bit, but
No,
I wouldn't mind $1 billion. It will be fine. But
someone, see, however rich a person is,
Yeah.
when you interact,
Yeah.
you don't, first thing is that no sensible fellow will simply give you money.
Yes.
One thing. And
Which is
I'm
the
not
unfortunate
interested in
part with
somebody's
life.
money. I have enough to
Yeah.
look at my clothes, look at me. My daughter gives me a beard oil.
Oh,
Say,
I
"Papa,
haven't
it
gone
is
down that road yet.
Not
Maybe
yet.
I should. Yeah, beard oil I've
You
never.
should grow more, na,
Yes.
brother."
अभी तो बहुत time लगेगा. अभी तो बहुत time लगेगा.
So I mean,
Maybe if I
have,
can fake looking like you, I can actually make the grade.
don't fish for compliment. I will not say you are looking better than me and things like that, brother. No, okay. So I have enough to. I mean, I will not ask what is the price of a bangan or even a cheese. I can afford it. I have money enough to spend on my whatever good clothes that I want to
Mhm.
wear. I now, after all these years, a 2-bedroom apartment in Khana Shantivanam. You are welcome with the Kanika and daughter. I'll give you good food in the phase
Yes.
2 of. So I have
I
a
already
place
had
to
the
stay,
appetizer.
and that should be enough.
Enough.
With more,
Yeah.
okay, I will be happy to. I should be sharing it with Daji, is what I feel.
Hmm.
Then the ego came that I gave him so much, also may come.
Hmm.
They're all.
Yeah, it's ego is extremely deceiving, like you can be deceived into it like kind of hides. It can come in different back doors, it can come in through,
Telling
you
you.
know,
Yes,
it's like
yes,
it's not
yes.
easy to handle, because you
Absolutely,
even
absolutely.
saying that I've handled my ego is like there it is. It's right, that statement just no, brother, sorry to break it, but you haven't handled
I know. And I got it validation from none other than Reverend Daji.
yes,
You know what
yes.
happened? One big fellow had come to Daji, and बात करते करते मैंने
हाँ.
बताया कि Daji said the buck stops with you with regard to greening. But I never, I mean, now I am the chairman of Forest by Heartfulness, he has made me. But for 6, 7, 8 years, I didn't hold a position in Green Khana initiatives. But he says, gives me a task and says, buck stops with you. I don't pay salary, I don't give punishments, I don't give leave. So how will people oblige me? A VIP plantation, so many things need to be done. If someone doesn't turn up, what do I do? So I told him in front of that big VIP, I said, he gave me the responsibility without authority. That made me very humble person. I said, Daji said, बोलता है. I am humble. You can imagine how humble I could be.
As my dear friend Robert says, we are both Aries, our star sign is Aries. So my dear friend Robert always says, Aries, there's one thing in common. They're the most good looking people, they're the most intelligent people, and above all, they are the most humble people. Yeah. Something you mentioned earlier, that you had spoken to Daji, and you had told him that the good thing that you can do is talk, and he said that too should go, that idea, that the good thing that you are doing. It's very, because whatever we take for granted, I am aware of the transitoriness of it, the transience of it, that whatever we like even suppose I'm very well read in philosophy, or very well read in history, or in science, or whatever, it's after all a mental function. And I have seen with something as minute as a B12 deficiency, I had a B12 deficiency, and your mind stops functioning properly, Yeah, I used to get these spells where I used to be disoriented. I didn't know where I was, what I was doing, just like it came for like a minute, 2 minutes, things like that. Then months of depression would happen with B12. So anything that is in the mental plane can change like this, It's subject to. So our baseline state, that is, what is our baseline state? That tomorrow, even if my mind goes, even if my memory goes, what is that baseline state that I am at? And is that state love? And that keeps me motivated, that state should be love. Even if I'm a vegetable tomorrow, it's love there.
Beautiful, beautiful.
So
beautiful, beautiful. I will not say anything to that. It's beautiful. What I understand is that I am this, I am that, I am that. We make ourselves complex.
yes.
Forget yourself, remember him. It's a life worth living.
So true. So
So forget who you are, what you are, what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses. If you
Yes.
keep thinking about it, you are reinforcing them.
So true.
Yeah.
So true.
I am this. I have this negative tendency in me. It will be strengthened. So one thing I'm very happy to tell you, I'm very self-forgiving. I forgive myself for all my
Yes, which is actually not very easy to do. It may seem very easy to do, and it may seem like the natural thing to do, but what I found is that it is not. The people are hard on themselves. People can be extremely hard on themselves, and that itself creates more and more stress and burden, and it makes life more complicated. And I was thinking about something just now, that how to unburden life and see it as it is happening. It's a very natural state. Everything that we add is kind of an unnatural thing that we are adding. And you spoke about the feeling of I am this, I am that, I am this. Even the feeling, which sounds like an oxymoron, that I am anonymous.
I'm never.
That anonymity is very praised in all spiritual, and even in the Heartfulness tradition. Work anonymously, do your work, but what is true anonymity? That is, does it mean that don't go where you might actually be useful because you have to remain anonymous? Don't put yourself forward because you have to remain anonymous? Or putting yourself forward, but you are not there?
Yesterday's Daji's talk gave that, that insight.
Yes.
Anonymous in the sense, if I say that, I may be sounding contradictory. If someone says that, Ramakant, you did it, all of a sudden I say, Brother Sarvanan was also with me. First thing I do is that, shift the focus from only to me to we were two in the beginning. We are there, two of us. One defense mechanism. Second thing is, yesterday I was feeling happy. If someone praises about our green initiative, I never felt that the ego, that heart swelling is not there. I feel very blessed because of that. It is not my making.
Yeah.
It's not my making. I don't respond to it. Then he told me, yesterday's talk made me understand why it happens. When you completely, akarma, when you are in that state of working, you do it, you don't, the doer is not there.
Mm-hmm.
Afterwards also, it doesn't come. When you really forget yourself and work, that time there are no samskaras, no accumulations of impressions, and afterwards also, I really don't feel. Actually, it is such a, you have to be so blessed to be given an opportunity to work.
So true. So true.
People think it's a very hypocritical way of saying it.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you the truth. Truth is, when you work, reward comes. You are rewarded for your work. So asking for work itself is asking for a reward. What is that reward? Spiritual growth. And which, in heartfulness way, all of us, we never talk about conditions or anything, but all of us know what has been granted to us.
Absolutely.
All of us have.
Absolutely.
All of us know that. All of us know that. And that happens through service. If you work with love in your heart, in remembrance.
I know. It's so interesting. It's such a fascinating journey, and so many nuances to it. I mean, it's just every day something new is unfolding, and a new version of yourself. It's like it's
and
endless.
Towards eternity. It's
infinity.
Infinity.
Yes.
Yeah, beautiful. We take a break then now?
Yes, let's take a break. And I'm sorry we have subjected you, the viewer, to so much laughter, casual misogyny, all sorts of things.
But are you not supposed to be looking at that?
No, I'm supposed to be looking at that. You are supposed to be looking at this.
But I all the time looked at you.
No, that's okay. Now I'm speaking directly to the audience. I'm not speaking to you. So I'm speaking directly to camera because they are looking at the camera. We were looking at each other. I can't take my eyes off you.
I first time I censored a thought. Yeah.
But thank you so much for this opportunity, this interaction. I mean, it's always a joy, and we should do this more often.
I
All
am
the-
willing. You are too busy.
We shall make this. We shall subject the world to this more often.
But they have the freedom not to
Not
watch
to
us.
watch, yeah, not to
Yeah,
watch.
we don't insist.
Yeah. No, but we should. Please watch.
Please, please. I to request. I'm a humble person.
Watch. You have to watch. Not for me, because I'm anonymous. For Ramakantha. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning into this episode of KanaCast. Do subscribe to KanaCast on YouTube, Instagram, and Spotify. Until the next episode, from the entire KanaCast team, namaste and goodbye.